There is a major health crisis that nobody seems to be talking about. It's about malnutrition. Malnutrition in the Western world, in the so-called rich countries, and it's about to get much, much worse. In this video I will try to point at what is happening now, and I have made some notes, so I have them here in my pocket. I have some notes because I want to get this right. And by the way, thank you for clicking on that thumbnail and joining me out here in my local woods. I use my platform sometimes to point at things happening in the world, if you will. And this is a major one. What I'm talking about is the insane new food recommendations. Now, in this video I will use the Norwegian and German new food recommendations for 2024. But it is practically the same in most other countries in Europe and USA, Canada. And if they haven't implemented these new food recommendations yet, they are about to do so. And this is all coming from the World Health Organization. So let me summarize some of the guidelines, the new guidelines. You are to eat a maximum of 350 grams of red meat per week. In Germany, 300 grams. That's less than I eat in a day, by the way. You are to eat much less fish. You are to eat much more vegetables like legumes, I hope I pronounced that correctly, like peas and beans and so on. You are to drink less milk and eat less dairy products. And instead they recommend things like soy milk. Now, drinking soy milk is practically like drinking estrogen. Okay? And I also need to add here, not everyone tolerate milk. I don't, so then obviously you stay away from milk. But it's okay. Let me just move on here. And the most insane one is you should increase your intake of plant oils. If you didn't know, plant oils have a tendency to create inflammation in your body. Make no mistake about it. If you eat like this, you will get sick. And it's not a question of if you will get sick, but when. If you eat following these guidelines, you will get sick. We're talking malnutrition. Now, this is not meant as an attack on vegans. I believe that it is possible to be healthy as a vegan, but it takes a lot more effort. Most people are not ready to make that effort. So they will eat ultra-processed vegan-based food, which is terrible. We are talking inflammation in your body, digestive problems, depression, hormonal imbalance. We're talking obesity because you will have you will be eating too much carbs and not enough proteins. We're talking also poor dental health, mental problems, and the list goes on and on and on. We do know quite a bit about nutrition and what most people should eat. You should eat a balanced diet. You need meat, fish, and some vegetables. This is not complicated. And here's the thing. These new guidelines are not based on what's good for you. You see, your government is trying to make the assumption or make you believe in the assumption that what is good for the planet or the environment is also good for you. These new guidelines are not based on what's good for you, okay? These new guidelines are based on what's supposedly good for the environment. I believe that there are other motivations behind the whole thing, and please follow the money to find the answer, as always. People need to ask the question, why would eating to save the planet also be eating for your health? Those are two different things. You can't make the assumption that eating to save the environment, that diet is also the best diet for you. Those are two different things. And I'm not the only one saying this. Many doctors and experts on nutrition are calling this out for being unhealthy. And they are saying that they've gone too far. And a doctor said to me the other day that these new guidelines, they're not based on what's good for you. They're based on what's supposedly good for the environment. And they need to be honest about that. Now, you might disagree here, but I believe that we need to change our ways because of the environment, especially the oceans and the pollution in the oceans. That's a huge problem. Microplastics, a huge problem. And also I believe that factory farming is cruelty. So let's discuss what we can do, you know. But I don't like this way that they are lying to people. And they're trying to sell this as, this is the best food for you, this is how you need to eat to be healthy. But that's not what these recommendations are based upon. And again, this is not meant as a criticism of veganism. Not at all. If that's you, if you're a vegan, good for you. But when your government and these global organizations are trying to sell this idea that you should eat only vegan food, they are always using photos of fresh vegetables. Isn't that funny? Because that's not what we're talking about here. I mean, that is unrealistic. You're not going to be able to sustain yourself on carrots and potatoes. That's not what's going to happen. We're talking ultra processed foods for most people. We're talking soy-based and grain-based foods for most people. And if that's your diet, you are going to get sick. This is a health crisis on the horizon. But they will do what they can to force people away from meats and fish and dairy products. First of all, by waging war on the farmers and paying farmers to stop farming. And, you know, the price of meat, eggs, dairy products, fish has skyrocketed. And that will probably continue. I like it up here. I like the peace and the quiet. And I'm on top of a ridge in the forest. And I can almost smell the sea, which is in that direction. And I can hear the wind in the trees. And you could say that this topic was a little bit not typical for this channel. But I just wanted to talk about this because I think it's important, and hopefully this message can reach a lot of people. But I want to ask you a favor. If you have been following this channel for some time, or if you're a new subscriber, and by the way, if you're watching and you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel. YouTube will then be more likely to recommend my next video to you if you subscribe. But please let me know in the comments what kind of videos you would like to see. Do you want to see more outdoorsy videos? Do you want me to talk about things happening in the so-called modern world? Or do you want me to talk about, you know, mental well-being, finding peace in yourself, things like that? Just let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Okay. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.